Hello, today is March 3rd, 2017, and we are going to record a short presentation on how to add information to the Oddy test material database tables on the AIC Wiki. And leading us through that process is going to be Samantha Springer, who is the chair for the Oddy testing pages. So Samantha, why don't you take it away?
Okay, thank you, Rachel. And thank you to everyone who is watching this, and that means that you have some data to put onto our materials databases for the Oddy test pages, so thanks in advance. So I'm going to start by just giving you a little tour of the pages that we've created for results from Oddy tests and also other materials tests to determine if storage, exhibition materials, construction materials are okay to use near or in contact with historic artifacts and artwork. So here is the main page I have for you right now for you. It's called the Oddy Test Material Databases. So this is the main page where you can, once you get to this page, maybe I should show you how to get there. So I'll take you to the main page of the AIC Wiki, and you can get there from under Research and Analysis to Materials Testing, and these pages are called the AIC Materials Database Wiki. So here we are on the main page, and I'll scroll down so that you can see we have a little disclaimer about about the test results that are on the page, and a little background about how the pages came about and what we are trying to what we're trying to achieve with these pages. And what we've done is created a protocols page. So I'll take you there, so that anyone who contributes information to our test results will first enter a protocol, and that will give anyone who's using the pages an idea of how the test was carried out, and you can or cannot, you don't have to add your actual name. It can just be the institution, but we're asking that everyone who contributes results also have a protocol so that anyone using the pages can understand how those tests were done and which tests were done. So I'll just go back and scroll down a little more to give you a full tour of the page. Below that, we have the links to the results tables, excuse me, and I'll get there in a minute, and then some basic instructions on how you can help, suggestions, and then if you keep going down, you'll see some templates for some of the code that you'll need to enter onto the pages. And I use this all the time to remind myself of what the code actually is. So that is very helpful in reminding yourself what the code should look like. And for future reference, after you view this video, if you want written instructions that I'm giving you today, you'll find a link for them down here under Add Oddy Test Results to a Table. Okay, so you've seen the protocols page, and I'll just take you to one of the results tables so that you can see what these look like. Hopefully you've already taken a look at them. And so here we have the page for exhibition fabrics, and there are 4 basic results pages, or we're calling them tables or databases. I might refer to them as we go along. There's one for exhibition fabrics, one for case construction and storage materials, one for adhesives and tapes, and one for paints and sealants. And one of the reasons that we split these up into 4 separate pages is because we wanted to try and make it easier for people to find the information they were specifically looking for. And as we know that most Oddy tests are done on exhibition fabrics, and so we wanted to separate those out and then make sure that the tables themselves didn't become unwieldy and too long. So here you can see we have quite a number of results on here. And so you can see the page is already relatively long, and so they've been split up by these basic material categories in order to keep the length under control. And there are slight changes between the different pages or the different tables, but generally we have your material name, manufacturer and supplier, the test results, the dates that the material was the test was carried out, the tester, and that will link. These blue links will go back to the protocol page. The test that was used, so in some cases you can see there was an additional test other than the Oddy test, and we also have some materials that were tested through the photo activity test, the PAT test. Any additional comments for the exhibition fabrics, a description of the color, the composition, and then also a column here for a results image. And if you haven't taken pictures of your coupons, that's okay. You can also add like a short description of what kind of the results looked like when you observe them, if you have any notes on that. And so this training session is specifically kind of geared towards converting data on a spreadsheet into Wiki code and then entering that Wiki code onto the test results database page. And so I'll go through some results that I have and show you how I've done it in order to make it a little bit more manageable and less time consuming. And that's not to say that this is the best way. So if anybody finds some other shortcuts, please let us know. And the instructions also assume that you have a lot of test results to enter and that they are on a spreadsheet. So I'm going to go back a little bit and just remind you that before you get into your test results and start putting them onto the tables, we want to make sure that there's actually an entry for your institution or the whoever is testing the test. I'll call them the tester on the protocols page. And so if this is not the case, you will follow some short instructions to add the protocols onto the page. And this is very basic Wiki or coding, and these are all things that you would have gone over in the basic Wiki training. But just I'll go through a quick thing just to give you a general sense of what we're talking about here. Oops, sorry. I must have logged out accidentally, and so I'll just log in so I can show you the edit page. Oh, there we go. So let's see. So first, you would want to check out the page to decide on your tester name and whatever abbreviation you want to use on the results tables. So here is the results table, and you can see the Autry Museum uses their the word Autry, and for the Cleveland Museum of Art we have CMA, so an abbreviation. If you are using an abbreviation, just make sure that that abbreviation hasn't already been used. and you can go to the edit page from anywhere. So you can do it under general test information and then add your code right under here. And so I work for the Portland Art Museum, and the text that I might add in would be, so what I'm adding in right now is actually called an anchor, and this will allow for the link on the table page to go directly to your protocol rather than the top of the protocols page, so that it's easier for the person to understand or find what they're looking for. So here's the anchor, and then I would add in the code. Let's see, that's triple quotes, and I would add Portland Art Museum, and then my abbreviation, and then go down and so now you can see I have a new protocol on here, and then I would go back and add in all the rest of the text for the actual protocol. Okay, so now let's get to actually looking at the spreadsheet data and putting those results onto one of the table pages. So let's see. I'm going to bring up some results that I have that were submitted to me by the Cincinnati Art Museum, and you can see this is the basic way that they keep track of the test, their testing information. So it doesn't quite match up with the columns that we have on the table, which is fine, and so what I'm going to show you is how to kind of get it all to match up so that we can, all of the information will fall into the correct place on the table. Okay, and of course you can do some of these things in a different order, but what I'm going to show you is what I find to be the most efficient, just for myself. And so you'll start by making sure each cell is formatted correctly for the database and that the text conforms to best practices. And so right now I'll go through some of the best practices that we would like you to follow in order for the table pages to function optimally. Okay, and if the information for the, like I said before, like if you weren't taking images of your coupons, that's fine. Or if there was other information that you didn't collect at the time of testing that we have a column for, just leave that column empty and do your best. And if you have additional information that you collected that you would like to put into the onto the table, then that kind of information can be combined and collected and added into the appropriate column, and I will get to that in the following steps, so just bear with me a little bit. So I'm going to just go back to one of the tables so that we can see, compare the information that we have on our spreadsheet with what we have on the table, and how do we make this all match up. Okay, so for material name, for the manufacturer and supplier, these are some of the most important pieces of information, and we'd really like for those to be filled out. And for material name, just use the most common terminology or the name that's used by the manufacturer or the supplier. So you can see here, for example, the American silk mills, what they call their fabric is Sensuade Cordovan 9. And then you'll also add other information about it so that someone can make sure that they're looking at results for the same type of fabric. Under test results, they should read pass, fail, or temporary. Just using the letter is fine. This is important because you can sort the table. Well, usually you can sort the, here we go, by the, by the test results. And so here they'll sort alphabetically, so we want all of the fails to come together, or here you'll see the temporary, and then you can always scroll down to get to find all of the fabrics that have passed the Oddy test. Okay, so going back to the top here, if you have any additional information that you want to add in, for example here, this particular fabric, the test result was temporary use, also not in contact. So you can add that after a comma in the results. Here we want the date to read with by the year first, then the month and the day. And please a zero fill or use 2 characters for month and day. Also, this helps in making sure that they are sorted correctly. The next column is the tester column, and so this is where the abbreviation for Portland Art Museum, PAM, P-A-M, would go under here. So CMA stands for Cleveland Museum of Art. Then we'll have the test that you've used, the comments. This is where a lot of other information that maybe you're collecting that there's no other place for on this page, on the table, can be combined into the comments column. For the color column, this is a sortable column, and so we would like for you to use basic color terminology. So red, you can see that this is a very dark red, so instead of writing dark red, we'd like for you to use the color first and then add any descriptors after a comma. And then the description composition is not sortable, so just add as much information as you can. And then if there is no image, a description of the results or just text like not applicable is fine. So at this point it would be good to separate the results that you have by the 4 different pages that we have. So if you are collecting all of your information about fabrics, case construction materials, it would be good to separate those out onto different spreadsheets. And so here you can see at the top here we have Oddy test case construction materials. So that's already been done. Let's see. Okay. So now you'll want to organize the columns in your spreadsheet to match up with those on the table. And then you'll, this is where we may want to combine text from multiple columns if necessary. There are several different ways of doing this, and I'll start with the easiest way. If you have only 2 columns to combine and only a little bit of text to add. And then I'll explain the AND operator, so that's an ampersand operator function for more complex combinations. And links for more information about these different operators, it will be in the written instructions, so in case you want to read more or you need a reminder, that will be in there. And so the ampersand operator function, the same thing can be carried out with the concatenate formula. And let's see if I can find. well, I'll get to that when we get there, and I can show you what the concatenate formula looks like. So, okay. Let's see. So, say you have what information on your spreadsheet that you want to combine. For example, we have the copper. On this spreadsheet, we have a description of the results that we're seeing on the copper, the silver, and the lead coupons. But on our table over here, I don't have a column for each of those coupons. What I have is the results image. So I'd want to combine those descriptions and put them into just some text so that it can be read, entered onto the results image column. So what I'm going to do is, sorry, I have to follow my own notes here so that I don't miss anything. Okay, so I'll insert a new column. Here, and then this is where the formula will go to combine this text. Okay, so the simplest method is to type the combined text. So, oops. Sorry, my computer is slowing down here a little bit. Okay. Oh, sorry. You know what I want to add? But I've chosen a bad example here. So let me just, what I want to do, actually I'm going to use a different column for my example here. So what I want to do is combine my assessment with this information in the contact, non-contact column here. So what I'm going to do is write pass, comma, non-contact, and then pass, and then okay, so you enter the type the combined text and then press enter, and you keep going down, and then what's supposed to happen is that, oops, oh, okay, now I've chosen a bad example here too. What's supposed to happen is that Excel is actually so smart that it'll recognize what you're doing, and it will show you a preview of the rest of the column. What I didn't realize was that the test results here are not
Do they have to be adjacent to
formatted correctly. So, okay, let's try this again. This
Samantha,
might not what you were, sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. I was just wondering, do the columns need to be adjacent to each other for this to work?
As I don't think that they do, but we can try. Let's see. I don't think that they do.
Okay.
I might just do something more simple. So I'm just going to say I want to combine these two with the temperature and the number of weeks tested. There we go. So you can see if you have a very simple combination, which I was not showing you before, but now you can see if you have a simple combination, Excel will see what you're doing, and then just to accept this preview, which you can see down here below in the light gray, you just press enter, and then your Excel will autofill all of those, that whole column. Okay, so that's one way of combining columns. So you could see in the other columns, it was a little bit more complicated, and it wasn't as easy as just adding in a typing the two numbers and adding a column, or excuse me, adding a comma. And so now I'm going to show you the ampersand operator method. So let's see. I'm going to, let me just check to see what I've done here. Okay, so now I want to add, now I want to combine the copper, the silver, and the lead observations. And okay, so here we're going to type equals, open parentheses. Then you want to click the cell that contains the first text that you want to combine. Type and. Then the next one. Whoops. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I want to write slight tarnish, so it will on copper. Okay. And I'll add another ampersand. So in between the quotation marks there, I'm adding the text that I want to show up between the text that's in this cell. And then I probably want to add a semicolon, so then and on silver, I might, sorry. So now you can see that I've combined all of this, and you can see, oh, I have a couple of typos. Slight tarnish on turned into one word. So I'll just go back to my, I'll just go back to the information in here, the text in here, and add in the space that I need. Let's see, now did I get it yellowing around edges? So each of these I need to add a little space in here so that I don't have run-on words. And so now I've combined all of this information, and I can take this and hover over this little green box here until you get a black cross, and drag that down, and you can see that it will copy the this function, the equation that I've created, and so now you have copied that equation and carried it out through over the entire column. Okay. Let's see. So in my instruction, my written instructions, I even reminded myself, don't forget to add enough spaces. Okay. So to combine text, this is just a little tip. To combine the text in more than 2 cells, just continue selecting the cells and typing the ampersand, open quotes, and I like separating it by the semicolon, but of course you can do separate it however you want. And you can add in as much text as you want for that information to make sense. So if I had just combined the information in these cells, you can see it wouldn't have made very much sense because the column header, copper, silver, and lead would be missing. So keep in mind those little bits of information so that the the information that you're combining still makes sense once it will end up on the table. Okay, so once you so once you're ready to go and you have, I feel like okay. So now the other thing that you might want to do, and this isn't absolutely necessary because it doesn't matter what order the columns are in, but I just find it helpful for myself in visually, is put the columns in order so that they match what is on the actual test results page. So here I have moved, sorry, this is a little bit of a cooking show thing where this is the spreadsheet from before. And now I'm showing you. So I've created a new column for the material name, and what I've used, so it's just the brand name that they had collected. So I have that in the right place. Then I have the manufacturer and supplier. Sorry, this is for the case materials page. Let's see if I can get there. So on the case, here we go, case construction materials, please come up. The manufacturer and supplier are in separate columns. So you can see on the original spreadsheet that I was given, the classification is on here, so we don't need that. So I would just delete it and get it out of the way so it's not confusing. Then, so I have the manufacturer, supplier, on the results on my Wiki page, the test results, which we have here as the assessment, would come after. So right now I am right-clicking and then insert cut cells. And you can also, so I'm using some shortcuts with my mouse here. But I think you can also do that from your table up on the Excel spreadsheet. So then I want to put the date tested. And, oops, sorry, insert cut cells. Okay. So for the, I'm sorry, I think I missed one thing. Okay, so when you are looking at the date, it's on the wiki page. It should read year, 4 digits for the year, 2 for the month, 2 for the day. So if your column in your spreadsheet is formatted as a date, then there should be no problem. It doesn't matter what order it's in on your spreadsheet. We'll fix that when we, and I'll get to that in a second. But you want to make sure that it's formatted as a date right here. You don't want it formatted as text or general. So if it's not, you should go ahead and do that at this point. Let's see. So this, okay, let's see. So, and then we will take this, so we won't use these, since we've combined this information, we're not going to use these columns anymore. We'll use the new column that we've made for the test results image. And let's see. One column that probably everyone will have to add, because you don't normally add in the tester on your own spreadsheet because you know who you are. So you will have to add this, and how about I just do that over here. So after test used, oh, you'll probably have to add test used also, because you know what you used. So you might need to add Oddy test. And then again, you can hover, get that black cross, and then drag it down, and the spreadsheet will be filled out with the same text there. So now I'm going to add a column for the, oops. So here I'm going to add in a column for the tester, and here you'll want to actually write in the wiki code. So, I mean, I'm typing it out here, but obviously it would be shorter if I copied and pasted it. And what I'm adding is text, or code, so that when it shows up on the page, it'll link back to your the protocol and the anchor that I told you about earlier. So here I'm adding one for CAM, the Cincinnati Art Museum, and then this vertical line, and then so this, everything in front of this line will is the link back to the anchor, and then everything after the vertical line is just the text that will show up on your on the wiki page. Okay, so again here, here's my, sorry, I'm missing the little, okay. So then, and again, you can drag it down. So I hope you're getting the idea here. Okay, so once you have all of your pages, or all of your columns set up exactly the way you want, and it's reading the correct text. So say I'm just going to cut and paste this over here. Insert. So if you, so the information that you're seeing is different from what the Excel spreadsheet knows it has. So if you just copied and pasted this onto the Wiki page, you would actually end up seeing this function equation, and so we definitely don't want that because the Wiki won't understand it. So the next thing that we have to do is convert what you have created into the appropriate Wiki code and text for you to be able to enter onto the Wiki page. Okay. So once you have that information to go and the columns match, you are going to use the ampersand function again to turn it into Wiki code, just adding vertical lines at the beginning and double vertical lines in between each column, and then the vertical line and dash at the end to close the table. So here is what it might look like. And I can add, let's see, I'll add in a column here and just show you how. So you can see, let's see, if I expand this, you'll be able to see better. Oops. So you can see in my cell on Excel, in the cell, you're seeing what you want to end up with for your Wiki code, but up in this equation line, this is what you'll need to add in, and you can see you have the, just like we did before, you'll have your equal sign, the open parens, and then this is the text that I need to add, the vertical line, so that's within the quotation mark, and then the cell that you want next. So my ampersand, and then the first line is the most laborious, adding in all of this text. But then after you have finished it all, so right now I'm typing in, the cell numbers, but you can also just click on it. So you can see how how I'm building the code, and then so once I'm just going to get you to the date so that you can see how this gets entered. Let's see. This one. Sorry, this is kind of boring to watch. Okay, so then once we get to the, I'm going to just close this for a second. Once we get to the date, what we want it to read is, if you add, after your ampersand, you add text, another open parens, the cell number where the date is, so here we have E2 as the cell, comma, and then you're telling Excel that you want the date to show up as year with a slash, a 4-digit year, 2-digit month, and then 2-digit day with the slashes in between. And then you just carry out all of this in the same way, and you see this text. Okay, so again, like I said, if you just copy and paste that, you'll just get the Excel formula, and so we need to turn this into text. So all you need to do is, sorry, let me get to the right place on my notes here. Okay, so you have, so you'll do that same thing where you only have to create the code, the formula for the first box, for the first cell, and then you can drag it down for the rest of your spreadsheet for as many test results or as many rows as you have. and you should see the wiki code appear just as you did before. And while those are still selected, so here I'll scroll down so you can see these are all the results that we have. So this is all highlighted, all of the information that I have. I'm going to right click and or press Control C, so you want to copy, and then in my next column here I'm going to put it in column M. I'm going to right click and choose paste values. Okay, so you see the V there, and as you move across these different options that you have, you get a little preview of what you'll end up with. And so what you want is this little clipboard with 1, 2, 3, and you want to do paste values. Okay, and then you can copy that column, and you'll want to open a notepad. Hopefully it'll open. Okay, and then paste your information in there, and don't do, I mean, you can do it, just, I recommend using Notepad because it doesn't add any other hidden information. If you do it in Word, Word likes to add its own formatting, and so it can add in hidden things in there that will mess up the wiki code. So you put it onto your Notepad. Now I'll go to my wiki page, finally, and you can just go to the edit right here, right next to the case constructions materials. Okay, and so you'll scroll down, and you can see I've given you a little instructions, place new code for the table after this line, and so I can take all of this and add it in at the same time. I'm just going to take a couple of results here. Oops. Sorry. Go back. What I'm going to do is just highlight, say, these 3 results. So I control copy and then paste that in. So you can see this is actually a repeat of what's already on here, but I've ended up with it. So the end of my column is right here, and you should, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. You should add in, so just come to the end of your text here, or the end of your entry, right before the vertical line and the dash, and you want to put that on the next line. And that helps, that's necessary for the columns to end up in the right place. Okay, so you'll end up with it looking like that. So that's the only editing that you have to do once you've copied and pasted your text in there, the code in there. And so now we'll look at a preview of the page, and you can see that if I can open this far enough so you can see all of the columns, then you'll see that we have all of the columns in the right place. And so now I can go down. Once you've made sure that everything's in the right place, then you can add in a little description. So added 3 CAM results, so that I know that I have to remove those later. Save the page, and then voila, you've now added some results to the database. I know that was a little tedious there for a little while, but hopefully this whole process will make the tedium as short as possible, and then getting the code onto the page the easiest part. So I think that's it.
I think that was a great description, Samantha. I feel like I learned a lot about Excel, and kudos to you for figuring out how to facilitate all that coding. But I definitely agree with you that like you could sit and turn yourself blind, sort of adding those upright dashes and doing the coding in Wiki. But Excel, all what you did there in sort of like a half an hour was way more efficient than trying to sit there and individually code entries into the to the wiki page. So I think
Yeah.
that was great.
Or even, I mean, I think the first time I did it, I was just cutting and pasting like the text out of the Excel sheet onto a notepad, and I was making myself crazy. So that craziness forced me to look for a better way.
Well, that's craziness is the mother of invention, or
Yeah.
however we want to adapt that phrase. I think it's a good also opportunity to remind people also that wiki coding is not it's not proprietary. So if you see things that look right or don't look right, you should go into the the edit page and sort of figure out like how did they get let's say the color on something to be different. How did they add that little PDF logo that you see there? There are things like that that we encourage users to experiment with. And just lift in the text and play around with that.
Yeah, definitely. And if you find yourself running into your own craziness, there is definitely like 100 or thousands of people who have run into the same problem probably. And so all I did was like Google, how do I, combine Excel cells into text? And lots of people out there have figured out a better way. And so that's basically how I was able to find the information and figure it out. I didn't have to read, Microsoft's Excel um, how-to manual or anything, and so lots of people have figured it out, and they have really good instructions out there.
Terrific. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that is it.
Okay. Well, once again, I'll reiterate that we are grateful that we have people all over the world who are offering to add information to these pages. We feel the more information is out there, the more useful it will be. And institutions are beginning to, do other kinds of testing. So you're seeing on this page already some sort of little test runs of how we may continue to add other results and make it clear that within that table there's other information to be gained. So we're grateful for everybody's expertise and participation. And Samantha, thank you for doing this, and I'm sure you'll be able to answer people's questions via email, and people are also welcome to contact me as the e-editor with other issues.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody has any questions about if you you think how you want to combine the information that the information that you've collected, but you're not sure and you just want to run it past somebody else to make sure that it looks right, please feel free to get in touch.
We should also take this opportunity to say that we do occasionally have volunteers who are willing to help post information for people who have information to provide but not enough time to post it. So if that is the case, we still want to hear from you, and you will get credit even if you're not interested in doing the actual code and upload work.
Definitely.
So terrific. Okay, well, thank you for watching.